Good morning, everyone. It's Stephen Whiteside here from theuptrend.com with your morning market outlook for Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. In the pre-market this morning, stock index futures are extremely quiet. They are above fair value, but barely. We do have commodities mixed this morning, but it's also very quiet in the commodity market with the energies up and metals down in the pre-market on Wednesday morning. Now, we do have inflation numbers coming out at 8:30 this morning, and then we've got energy inventories later in the morning. Both of those numbers could certainly help change the direction of the market. Well, IBM fell out of the sky yesterday in a record-breaking decline, and that helped hold the Dow back yesterday. At the same time, we had Goldman Sachs leading the Dow higher, so one basically canceled the other out yesterday. SpaceX is getting pretty close to that $135 IPO level. We did get as high as 225.64, and of course, I never talked about anybody buying this particular stock. Yesterday, we got as low as 135.93, so trying to find support at the IPO level. We are trading slightly higher on Wednesday morning. Then looking at the fear index or the VIX, it's still on a sell signal here, was down yesterday, still trading in the channel. A close above 1760 would be the first sign of something new happening. And then, of course, we'll be watching to see if we get buy signals in the VIX ETFs. Now, Bitcoin and Ethereum are trading up this morning, and they are both still on buy signals, so no change in trend there. No change in trend for the US dollar or the euro so far, but the Canadian dollar and the Australian dollar have moved up during the week, and we're still waiting for the Japanese yen. So the US dollar is still holding up against most major currencies. Looking at the bond market, bonds were higher yesterday. Bond yields pulled back, but certainly no change in trend expected on Wednesday. Looking at the major index ETFs, for the major ones that we watch every day, no change, no changes in the Canadian market. Looking at the U.S. market, we had copper miners come back. Now, copper's been up while copper miners have been holding back. They're back on a buy signal. The global metals and mining are back on a buy signal. Then anything medical related got hit hard on Tuesday. Looking at the copper miners, back on a buy signal. Global metals and mining back on a buy signal. We've got medical devices, we've got pharmaceuticals, we've got healthcare, all back on sell signals as of Tuesday's close. Quick look at commodities here, and we're just looking at the energy sector where we had crude oil and gasoline higher on Tuesday. We even had natural gas higher yesterday, and natural gas, we thought this was a bullish sign, the fact that we put in a higher low here, but we still couldn't get out over the flypaper channel. And here we are. Could we be possibly putting in another higher low? And then we'll be waiting to see if we break out of the flypaper channel to tell us something new is going on here. Looking at Canadian energy stocks, they were down on the day yesterday, nearly 1%, while U.S. energy stocks were actually up a little over 1/3% on the day. Next up, let's take a look at some of the TSX most actives from Tuesday's trading action, starting off with Canadian Natural Resources pulling back yesterday, but no change in trend there. The TD Bank is back on a buy signal as of Tuesday's close. Now remember, for the purpose of this video, we're using the right side chart, which is our shortest term chart. If you're a more conservative investor, if you're trying to hold on longer to a position, then use our midterm chart, which did not generate a sell signal. And of course, if you're a long-term investor, you shouldn't be looking at the daily charts. You should be focused on the weekly charts. Next target to the upside is 175. We're very close to that. If we can break out above that, then 181.25 and 187.50 come into play. Cenovus pulled back yesterday, no change there. TELUS is still on a sell signal here. Any move to the upside has to be limited by the flypaper channel. If we start moving up from here, we're still stuck at the 1484 level. We had a high yesterday of 1487, so we're still stuck to this price target. Looking at Whitecap, we pulled back yesterday with the rest of the energy sector. No change there. No change for BlackBerry, moving up into the channel yesterday. No change in BCE, trying to hold last week's low. Then we've got Hudbay moving up into the channel yesterday, so a close above $32.31 would give us a buy signal on Wednesday. Then looking at Baytech, it closed unchanged on Tuesday. Then looking at Barrick, we traded up into the channel yesterday, so a close above $53.18 would give us a buy signal on Wednesday. Looking at the New York most actives, and we had Lucid down sharply, so still on a sell signal, no change there. NU Holdings, no change for that stock, no change for American Airlines, still on a sell signal here, no change for NVIDIA. NVIDIA traded right up to our next price target yesterday and stopped. The high of the day was $212.55. Then looking at Ondas, no change in trend there. Open Door, we're back on a sell signal here. We ran up, tagged our first price target. Hopefully you had orders in to sell up there. And then here we are. This isn't a stock I would have traded. Looking for a breakout above the flypaper channel. And once again, we just rode up, tried to break out and failed once again. So still a very bearish chart pattern for this particular stock. Intel still on a sell signal, no change there. It'd be very bearish if we started breaking down below 100. If we start breaking down below 100, then these two targets come into play, and we've got a huge big open gap over here that could certainly act as a price magnet for Intel if and when we start breaking down below $100. Looking at Nokia, still on a sell signal, new low for this move on Tuesday. And then we've got Oracle. Oracle also making a new low on Tuesday. And last up, Bank of America making a new high on Tuesday. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. So far, it looks like we're going to have a fairly quiet open on Wednesday morning. Have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is on Thursday morning.
Thanks for tuning in until the very end of today's stock market timing educational video. If you found the content valuable, don't forget to express your support by hitting the like button, leave a comment, sharing with your friends, and subscribing to our channel for more insightful updates. Remember, in the world of stocks, timing is crucial, and following the trend can be your greatest ally. If you would like more information on how we can help you better time the stock market, please visit theuptrend.com.